Good afternoon. My name is Mike Aide, Southeast Missouri State University, and I'm here with the Missouri Rice Research Council to talk about water resources in the state of Missouri. What I would like to do is first discuss a little bit about how the Missouri Boot Hill came to be. And if you notice when you drive from, say, Cape Girardeau down into the Missouri Boot Hill, you go across two completely different landscapes. Round Cape, it's an upland Midwest farming, where down here it's a Mid-South, and the farms are much larger, and they're generally much flatter land. How did that come to be? At one time, the Mississippi River, right at Cape Girardeau, took an abrupt turn to the west. And the Mississippi River then flowed past a town called Dutchtown, and then Delta. And it eventually went down on the western side of Crowley's Ridge and near towns like Poe. And the river carved out that land and then backfilled it with sediment. Eventually, the river broke through at around Bell City and came down on the eastern side of Crowley's Ridge. And so if you look at a town like Malden, with the sandy soils there, is because the Ohio River met the Mississippi River at Malden at one time, and all of that sand came out of the Appalachians. And eventually the Mississippi River then broke through at Thebes Gap, and it's going down its modern courseway. Now, in that process, the river has created three aquifers. You have the alluvial aquifer, that's where we get all of our irrigation water. Below that, we have the Wilcox, Claiborne, and below that, the McNary, which is a vast amount of water that's available to this region, both municipal and agricultural. Now, one of the projects directed to us by the Missouri Rice Research Council was, how sustainable is our water? I mean, with rice producers taking water out of the ground, putting it on land for rice production, are we diminishing a resource? And what we did is we looked at all of the wells that USGS has put in. There's 20-some wells all across the Missouri Boot Hill. And what we found is that the water table will drop a little bit during summer, but then during the intervening winter, it comes right back up to where it was. And in no location, in no years, have we ever had an aquifer overdraft that went into the following year. As many of you may remember the drought of 2012. In 2013, the water levels had returned exactly where they should be, even after that huge drought and all the water being used for irrigation. And so the end result is that all across the Missouri Boot Hill, there is enough water that we estimate could easily farm 1 million acres of rice without taxing the aquifers. And therefore, the issues of aquifer depletion, aquifer overdraft that we see in some places to our south are not going to occur here in the state of Missouri, especially in the Boot Hill. And therefore, we have the water to continue rice production as the rice producers see fit based on their market structures and their needs to produce rice. Thank you.